Thanks, everybody. We're at RCS High School with some 8th graders sprinkled in. Jazz ensemble, and we practice daily after school. We were very excited and happy to play the opening of orientation tonight. So if you're just coming to the school, we have a great arts program, great athletics, great academics. They're all going to tell you about that. I usually talk in between every song, but I haven't tonight because we only have so much time and I want to get through all the pieces we're doing. But the next one you may remember if you're a student of the 70s. It's from the Tower of Power. It's called You're Still a Young Man. RCS Jazz Ensemble, come see us in concert. We'd love to have you out. Have a great evening. Thank you.
There's still plenty of seats up front. If you want to come on in and have a seat, we'll get started here in just a minute. We have plenty of seats up on the front few rows. Good evening and welcome to our prospective student and parent information night. We're glad you decided to take some time to visit with us tonight. And we really appreciate Mr. Swanson and our jazz band. They did an awesome job playing as everyone was arriving. And you can see the talented students that we are blessed to have here. We just appreciate them agreeing to do so. But we thank you for coming. I'm going to share, I'm Dave Everett, I'm the Managing Executive Director here. And I'm going to share some information with you about RCS and sort of talk about some things that we're very proud of here. And then I'm going to pass the mic on to our middle school and our high school principal, and they're going to go through and share some information with you. And then we have some other people on the agenda. So with that being said, you know, our school, we're a public charter school. RCS was chartered in 2006. And we operate independently from the Person County school system. You know, we're not a private school. There's no tuition. We have open enrollment. Ms. Horton speaks here in a few minutes. She'll go through that enrollment process and the application process and the lottery. No discrimination, no religious associations. A lot of people, though, think a charter school is a private school. It's not. It's a public school. It's just a school of choice. We have grades 6 through 12, and we have a college preparatory course of study. We've got highly qualified teachers and a small, nurturing environment. Students have classes on a traditional 6-period day. Each of the periods are right around about an hour each. We have smaller class sizes, which allows for more individual attention. Class sizes vary, but they average somewhere in the 18 to 20 range. We have one-to-one technology. Every one of our students have laptops, Chromebooks that are available to them and that they use on a daily basis. As far as our electives go, and our principals will talk to you about that, I'm not going to read through all those, but you can see we have a lot of different electives that students can choose from. The North Carolina Virtual Public School online courses and the PCC courses, those are geared more toward the high school students, but they'll talk about those. You can also see we have a very strong athletic program that's available to all our students. And there's the sports that are listed that we have, and we have girls and boys sports in basketball, as well as middle school and high school in each of these sports. A couple things, RCS students, because we do follow, because we are a public school, we follow up under state guidelines. So RCS students, you do take the end of course and the end of grade state test at the end of the year. Unlike traditional public schools, we do not receive funding for transportation. We don't receive capital funding. So we don't have the funding to provide for buses. So we don't have buses that go out and pick up our students and bring them here. For lunch, we do have meals that are catered in to us Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And it varies from month to month. And there'll be an email that goes out to everyone. You can see what we're going to have for the following month. We have a salad bar that's available for our students every day. On Friday is our pizza day. And on Monday, students are asked to either bring their lunch or they can have a salad bar or a baked potato. They also have other items in the cafeteria that the students can purchase. I call them like the little snack type items and Hot Pockets, those type things if they want to use those on Monday instead of packing a lunch. We do have, when we do our breakout sessions here in a little bit, I suggest if you have questions about our lunch or our lunch program, Miss Russ, Beverly Russ, is in the one of the dining halls, and she's got a table set up there to ask her any questions. She can tell you about everything that has to do with our lunch program. A few things here before I step off. These are the things I like to sort of brag about. We're very proud of our students here. We're very proud of our staff. RCS was chosen by the Courier Times as the best middle school and the best high school in Person County. We received the NCDPI, North Carolina Department of Public Instruction, has a formula they use, and it's based on test scores and how much your students grow every year as far as how much they improve. They give her a report card grade to every school. Well, last year here at RCS, we received an A, the highest grade you could receive. And RCS has received a grade of A 3 out of the last 4 years. And this year we were recognized, actually the past 2 years, we were recognized for exceeding academic growth. So it's not just good enough that we do well on those test scores, but we want to make sure that our students are growing every year and are gaining in knowledge to be ready for the next challenge. Last year, class of 2018, we had 92 graduates. And they earned almost $1 million in scholarships just from those 92 graduates here at RCS. The graduation rate was almost 96%, and it's way higher than the state average. We've got listed there a lot of different universities and colleges that our students have been accepted to and attend. Duke, Wake Forest, Chapel Hill, UNC Chapel Hill, State, Alabama, Georgia, Indiana, on and on and on. That's just to name a few of them. And then our high school is ranked 46th out of over 2,500 public high schools in the state of North Carolina. And that's an achievement in itself. And also we were a National Beta Club School of Merit. So a lot of good things that we do here and we're proud of. We hope that you choose, after hearing the rest of the information tonight, to follow up and maybe apply for your son or daughter to attend RCS. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Donna Ingram, who's our middle school principal, and Dakari Bryant, who's our high school principal.
Good evening. As Mr. Everett has said, we are so happy to have you here joining us this evening. And again, we hope that after you receive the rest of the information that you do decide that Roxborough Community School is a place for your child and your family. What I would like to start off sharing with you is the cornerstone. One of the pieces of our success here is our partnership agreement. At RCS, we have a partnership between the staff for the school year, families, and the students. The partnership agreement at RCS, our commitment to your family is that we will provide quality instruction to your child, give them guidance and support. We will monitor their progress and keep you abreast of their progress. We will communicate with you on a regular basis and in a timely manner, and we will provide support not only for the student, but we will support you in any way that we can to help you provide support for your child.
As a staff, we also know that the parent is an integral part in the student's success. You were the child's first teacher, and what we ask of the family is participation in making sure we grow the child and with your support, communication with teachers, keeping an open line of communication with teachers, supporting the student, whether it be academically or social emotionally, and then also monitoring the progress. You guys probably are aware of Power School, and making sure that you get that Power School code and check in timely to see how they're progressing.
And the last piece of the partnership, and as you can see, we're working out a partnership here together tonight. The last piece of the partnership is the student. And these are the commitments we're asking for from the student. We're asking them to focus on behavior, a behavior that's conducive to learning and a good learning environment, attendance, because we all know that if they're not here, they can't be taught. They won't learn the material that's taught by teachers, and continue to focus on academics. If they need help with something, don't be ashamed to ask for help, to come to tutoring, to do your best on your work. So these are the three things that we're asking students to commit to when they agree to come to RCS.
Drop off and pick up. We do not have a daycare program, so we do not have supervision before 7:30 or after 3:30. So we want to make sure that parents are prompt in picking their children up, and also don't drop them off too early, as there will be no supervision for them. We do offer tutoring in the evenings, so if your child has tutoring with the teacher and you've arranged or made those arrangements, that's totally fine. And then also, as Mr. Everett stated, we have a host of athletics and clubs. So we know that they may be sticking around for clubs or for athletics, and we will provide the supervision at that time, or unless your coach or club advisor has stated otherwise.
Check-out procedures and check-in procedures. We know that at times, when we talk heavily on attendance, but we know that at times things happen where kids may arrive late or students may have to leave early. Check-out and check-in is done through the front desk. Whether you're checking in late or checking out early, you must report to the front desk. High school students, even though they're high school students, cannot check themselves out. We want to make sure that parents are aware of what's going on. So if a high school student needs to check out, we request that a parent will call the front office and let the front office staff be made aware of who's picking the child up, or that they may leave and drive themselves home. And also what we ask that you have emergency contacts on file. You will be surprised at the number of times something happens and we need to get in contact with parents, and we may not be able to get in contact with them, and we don't know who else to call. So an important thing to do is to make sure you have emergency contacts on file, as well as a list of people who are approved to pick your child up. If someone comes to check your child out and they're not on the contact list, we will not let them leave until we contact you and get permission from you to release your child. And also, if there's any legal documentation that you have, or custody papers or anything, please be sure to turn a copy of that in to the front desk so that we can have that on file.
As stated before by Ms. Ingram, attendance is imperative. We can't teach them if they're not here, and we'll talk a little bit too about attendance requirements. But again, make sure that all efforts are made to have your child here on time and in the seat, so we can make sure that we do our part in making them reach, or helping them to reach their full potential.
Now, RCS does have an attendance policy, and it's the exact same for high school or middle school students. And basically, we've talked about the importance of being here on time and being present at school. And we understand that if there are times when students are sick, we don't want you to send them to school if they're sick. But our attendance policy, in that, we have a time for time policy. And basically what the time for time policy says that if a student has more than 9 absences, they will receive a 59 average for the semester in that class unless they submit a time for time waiver. And the time for time waiver is approved, and time for time is granted by the attendance committee. Now, I saw some of you go, ooh. Don't worry, if you have documentations for legitimate absences such as doctor's appointments and that type thing, make sure you turn that information in with your waiver. If there is no documentation for the committee to consider, then basically what we'll have to do is to look at the information that we have in front of us, and the principals will make the decision, and the committee will make the decision based upon the information that we have, whether to approve time for time.
All right, even though we do want your child to be here every day, we do know that there are times that they will have to be absent. That's why we do have the leeway with the time for time policy. But anytime they return, or when they return, we want to make sure that they return with a note from you or a note from the doctor stating the reason for their absence. You also want to make sure you are in contact with that child's teacher, because again, we are one-to-one. So even though your child is out, it's a possibility they be forwarded their work so they don't get behind while they're out. When they return, they'll want to make sure that they give that note to the front desk person, whoever's down there, to be forwarded to Ms. Oakley, because she's our attendance dean and she'll be the one that puts in the code, whether excused or unexcused, for your child's absence.
Tardies. As we said, it's important for children as much as possible to be here on time. So we do have a tardy policy here at Roxborough Community School. So if a student arrives to school after 8 o'clock, again, they must report to the front desk for a note to enter class. As you can see up front, there are consequences for chronic tardiness. The first 3, the student will receive a warning. Typically, the teacher whose class the student is tardy for will contact you to make you aware of the tardy so it doesn't just pile up on you all at once. The 4th time that the child is tardy, they will receive 1 hour of community service. The 5th time the student is tardy, they will receive an administrative referral and a mandatory 2-hour after-school community service. And then what we do with community service is they clean up and help out with things around the school. Each tardy after 5 will be an automatic 2-hour community service consequence.
Whether in high school or middle school, we are on a 10-point rating scale. But when you get to high school and your honors versus your CP or regular courses will carry weight. So with your honors courses, they will carry an additional 0.5 added to their grade, and if they have an AP course or associated PCC course or anything collegiate, then they'll have an additional point added to their GPA.
In middle school, students typically don't get to pick and select their course schedule. They have the following courses: math, science, social studies, and English and language arts. The 5th course on a student's schedule will depend. Most students in middle school take our academic success course, and this is basically where we learn about citizenship, things like typing, and we have a set curriculum for character and citizenship. Sometimes students come to RCS and they need a little extra boost because they're not quite on grade level when they get here. Now, as much as teachers try within the classroom to get students back on grade level, there's not always time to catch them up. So the boost class will provide more of an individualized instruction to students who are behind, and the goal of that is to get them as close to grade level as you can prior to entering high school. So students will be enrolled in any of those core courses, and those courses will be either college prep or honors level courses. But all students in middle school will take part in our middle school elective rotation, And what we do with this, all students will experience theater arts, dance, art, PE, and band. And they'll do that 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade. So by high school, if they pick something, see something that they really like, they can choose to focus and concentrate on that elective. But if they're never exposed to it, they don't know if they like it or not. So this is just to expose them to all of the things that are available for them here in our curriculum.
With the high school requirements, they have additional electives that are available to them at the high school level. We also use the North Carolina Virtual Public School to expand our course selection guide in 9th through 12th grade. And we use PCC, which is Piedmont Community College, to expand for 11th and 12th. Want to make sure that in middle school, as well as in their first couple years of high school, you really emphasize the need to excel in their classes, because you can't take PCC courses unless you have a 3.0 GPA. So they don't want to get to their junior year and want to access PCC and can't, due to having a 2.7 or 2.6 on their transcript. Schedule changes, we do offer schedule changes at the high school level. We typically do them before school starts to make sure that on day one they can hit the ground running and not have to have those schedule changes when school has already started. But if they do, they will just come to the guidance or guidance officer, see me, and we can work out those schedule changes. But we'll make sure that we involve the parent too, to make sure that parent is in agreement with the schedule changes being taken place. Graduation requirement, there are 22 credits to graduate from high school at RCS, but we are a collegiate preparatory school, therefore you'll see the minimum requirements that we have are greater than that of your traditional adjacent schools. The 2-year foreign language is a requirement. We also have some local requirements or graduation requirements as well that we'll take a look at, but you need 4 math, 4 English language arts, 4 social studies, 3 science. You have to have that PE and health requirement, and then 4 electives. Our local graduation requirement, you have to have or complete a portfolio. You had the word community service before. The community service before was kind of a punishment, but as written in the portfolio, it's a positive. We believe in giving back to our community, whether near or abroad, and 4 times a year, from 1 o'clock to 3 o'clock, we shut down the traditional academic setting here at RCS and transform it into the community service aspect, because we do also believe there's education to be gained in that as well. Everybody from 6th grade to 12th grade, whether it be in our dining hall, writing letters to folks afar, or even going out into adjacent neighborhoods and cleaning up, or going to dance at a rest home, we try to be involved in the community where they live, so they can see the service or and giving back to their community. The community service aspect is done from 6th through 12th grade. Writing samples will be from 6th to 12th grade. They will have to complete a resume and personal statement, which typically is done in their senior year, as well as the 3 letters of recommendation they'll have to get in their senior year. The CPR is done in 9th grade through their PE and health. But everything that you see here can be attained if just fully participating in school each day. We also have a local requirement, graduation requirement of passing end of course assessments in high school for those courses that have them, and they are Math 1, Math 3, Biology, and English 2. Now we do know that there are some struggles that students have in test taking, therefore we have kind of some fail-safes for those that aren't necessarily great at test taking. You can come to 2 weeks of summer school in lieu of retaking that course. And the summer school is more of assistance in helping them gain some groundwork or solidifying their base for moving on to the next course. But again, if they do fail that end of course assessment with a 1 or a 2 and not pass with a 3, 4, or a 5, they will have to attend summer school or retake that course to recoup local graduation credit to graduate from RCS.
Middle school dress code is some like to refer to it as the uniform. Well, basically, in middle school, if you would see, and look at the, overhead, the young ladies and the young gentlemen, this is one thing they have in common. The bottoms, whether for young ladies they be pants, shorts, or capris, for young gentlemen, pants or shorts, they must be khaki material. There must be navy blue, either light or dark khaki color, or black. The shorts that students wear must be no higher than 2 inches above the top of their kneecap. Shirts for both males and females can be any colored polo or golf style shirt. And yes, striped shirts are allowed to be worn in middle school. Dresses and skirts are not allowed in middle school for young ladies. Gentlemen, they must tuck their shirt in at all times, and a belt must be worn. And failure to meet the RCS dress code requirements can result in office referral, parent involvement, and for excessive dress code violation could result in suspension. And teachers have the authority, if they feel that dress code items are disruptive, to determine what is disruptive to the learning environment.
Have the same consequences at high school, but there's a little bit more relaxed standard for what they can wear at high school. So girls can wear dresses, but they must come within 2 inches of the knee. They can wear skirts, appropriate style shirts. The same thing with young men. They can wear khakis, long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, and they can wear a sweater also in lieu of the collared shirt. Again, just a little bit more relaxed at the high school. We want to make sure we give them a little bit more freedom when they come up to the high school, but there is still a dress code for high school. Each year we take a look at our student handbook, and we do take recommendations from our students, our parents, as well as our faculty. And this year we did relax it a little bit further as well by way of hoodies, because we saw that our students, as any students, like wearing hoodies. But it must be a Roxborough Community School hoodie, and it must be worn over top of an approved dress code approved shirt.
Mr. Everett touched a little bit on lunch when he was here, but basically, as Mr. Bryan has said before, students who come here in 6th grade and go to 12th grade, when they leave middle school and go to high school, you kind of want to give the high schoolers a feeling that even though they're not leaving the building, that they're doing something different than what they've done in middle school. At lunch, all middle school students will eat lunch in the dining hall. High school students have two choices. They can eat in the dining hall, or they can go outside and eat on our picnic benches. If students are 11th and 12th graders, then they, with parental permission, can leave to get lunch and come back onto campus. But when they leave, it's only one student per vehicle for safety reasons. Also, Mr. Everett talked about at lunch on Mondays, pretty much we don't have a cafeteria where we cook hot lunches. So on Mondays, we pretty much have a salad bar, a baked potato bar, and he talked about the a la carte items that you can purchase on those days, or students are always welcome on any day to bring their lunch. Tuesday through Thursday, we have catered meals from Golden Corral. Parents will be notified of what the menu is in case you want to pre-order your child's lunch. On Friday, salad bar, baked potato bar, and pizza. All the kids love pizza. The prices of the meals are to the right. And then, if you look, salad bars, they can choose between a large and a small. Slices for pizza, $2 a slice, and baked potatoes, $2.
We mentioned the community service aspect, and by way of volunteer requirement, our students get 8 hours a year, of which can be all attained via the community days, and that's 2 hours, which adds to 8 over 4 a year. But parents are also required to give a volunteer requirement of at least 4 hours a semester. Now, we know that traditionally a lot of you cannot make it here due to your work schedule. So therefore, we do offer meeting that expectation via donation. Our dining hall actually runs mostly by volunteer efforts. We have 3 paid staff members in there, and then the remainder of them is via volunteers. So Ms. Russ would definitely be happy to see any and all that will want it to come in and provide some support to the dining hall. Our volunteer coordinator is Bonnie Reagan. So whenever you want to bring something or whenever you donate anything to RCS, you just log it in with her, as well as when you do your volunteer traditional hours, you will log it in with Ms. Reagan.
Bulldog Care Days, Mr. Bryant touched on this a little bit, but basically it's part of our charter for our students to go back and give back to the community in which our school resides. And basically we have 4 of those a year and they're built into our school days. And on the Bulldog Care Days, we dismiss at 1 o'clock, and from 1 to 3 we go out into the community and we do various community projects. And these projects are basically organized by teachers with the input of students. And if a child participates in all community Bulldog Care Days, then they will automatically receive their 8 hours of community service for that year.
Extracurricular activities we have from 6th grade all the way up through 12th have a host of extracurriculars that our students can be involved in, whether it be basketball in this currently going on in the winter, or we have fall sports, which are soccer, cross country. I can't name them all, but we have a lot of them that they can participate in. We at RCS believe that there's something for each student to do, whether it, or be involved in, whether it be extracurricular or club. In clubs, we have a number of them: FFA, Beta, gaming, art club, science club, and you'll be able to see, and that's just a sample of them. We have them throughout the building. When you take your tour, you'll be able to go around and see what we do offer for your child to take advantage of. A lot of information. A lot of information. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Yes, sir.
What exactly is the one-for-one?
One-to-one is, you will see that some schools or systems say that they are one-to-one with their computers or with their electronic access. That means they have one computer for every child, and we are truly one-to-one, as our students can actually take those home with them, their computers. It does come with an associated fee of usage, and if you want to get the insurance as well, you'll have to purchase that. But your child will be furnished with an RCS laptop that they can take with them home and bring back to school, which is a lot of responsibility, but they do have that resource. Yes, ma'am.
Can you purchase their own computers to send to school, or it has to be on the
Has to be the RCS computer to get on our network. We do have a guest network, but we want them to have an RCS furnished one.
And what's the fee you said?
The fee is, yeah, Mr. Whittemore, 25 for usage, and for the insurance, 50 for the insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
I was referring to the absences, you said it's a one-for-one.
Oh, absences. If you are for time, if you are absent more than 9 days, whether excused or unexcused, you have to put in a time-for-time waiver. If, say, you hit your 10th day of absence, that's 1 day for each course. So let's say you miss 10 days. So that means you have 6 hours to make up 1 per each class. So you'll have to go 1 hour after school for the course that you were 1 hour over. But let's say you had a dentist appointment and you missed 9 days in periods 2 through 6, but only, or 9 days in those, but 10, you reached your 10th in your first period class. You only have to make up time for that first period course. Would like to say, though, it has to be excused. If you hit your 10th day and they have all been unexcused, then your grade will drop to 59 for that semester that you go over your time. Yes, ma'am. Yes, we'll inform you, but what I would say is really take a look at PowerSchool, because it's updated daily, to see if or how many days your child has been absent for that semester. Yes, sir. Or, ma'am, sorry.
So my biggest concern is transportation as far as after school. And I'm
We do allow students to walk. We have a few. We don't have a lot of students that walk, but we do have an adjacent community over here where students do walk. By way of pickup, we don't have the after-school care after 3:30, but we will see also folks carpool. So if you know a family that stays near you, you might want to get in a carpool group to where you do drop off and pick up by way of collaborating with a fellow RCS family. All right, well, we have 3 RCS student leaders here at RCS who want to share a little bit of their experience with you. We have Damian Miles, Eden Dunn, and Erica Vannick, and we'll just go from left to right. Again, I think a lot of these students, and we have a lot of great students here at RCS. This is really a sample, but they are 3 of our highest flyers here at RCS, so I'm pleased to have them come in and speak to you today.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant. My name is Damian Miles. I'm a senior. I've been here since 6th grade, so 7 years. And as you can see, I don't have any notes or anything, so I'm winging this just a little bit. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about RCS. Pretty much the main thing about RCS that I like is how small the school is and how close the community is. It's really nice to just be able to walk down the hall and see familiar faces and just be able to say hey to people. And I can pretty much name everyone in my grade, and I can name a lot of other people in high school. It's just really nice to feel like, you know, you're not just a face among thousands or anything like that. During my time at RCS, I've really become a different person, and I think, of course, that kind of happens to everyone as they age, but by becoming involved in extracurricular activities and electives and all the stuff that we have here, I really came out of my shell. I used to be really shy and didn't talk a lot, but I mean, you can ask anyone that goes to class with me. These 2 girls right here, I talk a lot now. And it's just been an overall very positive experience. One of the most important things about RCS for me is the arts. Those of you that were here earlier, you might have saw me playing bass in the jazz ensemble. RCS offers band, art, dance, and theater. And I've been in band since 7th grade. I started off playing percussion and drums, and eventually I started playing the bass guitar, and I play a few other instruments now. And this summer I'll be going to college for music education. So, as Mr. Bryant was talking about, or Miss Ingram, there's a rotation in middle school that all the middle schoolers go through. And if I'd have never went through that, I would have never known that I had a passion for music. And I don't know where I'd be today. I think that's a really important thing because it just allows you to experience something new. And like I said, if it wasn't for that, then I'd just be bored all the time. I don't know. But yeah. I'm the vice president of the Triumph Music Honor Society here at RCS, which is a national sort of club. And if you'd like, I think downstairs there'll be a table about it if you'd like more information. But yeah, it's a great school if you are into the arts or if you're interested in experiencing that. And there's also pretty big athletics program. Pretty much every other day there's a game going on in the gym, or there's an away game or something like that. And as far as my academics, I think I've really flourished at RCS. I think the classes are very well structured, and there's a lot of great teachers, and I'm not just saying that because there's a bunch of them back there. It's just been a really enjoyable experience overall, and I think if anyone is considering the school, I think it's an excellent choice. And that's about all I have to say. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. I made notes, so. My name is Eve Dunn, and I am the valedictorian of the class of 2019 here at RCS. And actually, a lot of people have asked me how I like RCS, and I'm honest with them. You know, it's high school. Does anyone really like it? You know, but I came here as a really shy and kind of introverted person, and so the worst part of, you know, going somewhere new and like meeting new people was the anxiety that accompanied that. You know, you're constantly worried about how to dress and how to act and, you know, how to speak to people. But the most obvious difference for me between RCS and other schools is that you're here for 7 years. And if you think about that, like, by the time you leave, you'll have been here for over a third of your life. And so with each passing year, I have found that you're here. You can't help but get more and more comfortable, you know, with your environment and with your peers and with your teachers. And the less focused you are on, you know, all the things that you're worried about, then the more you can focus on working hard and enjoying those 7 years that you're here. This May, I'll be graduating with my Associate in Science and a Certificate in Business Administration, as well as my high school diploma. And the best part of that is that it was all free, except for the textbooks, because RCS offers a dual enrollment program with PCC. But the only reason that I was able to finish those 2 years of college in the last 2 years of high school is because of the academic opportunities that RCS provides us. So some examples of the ones that I have taken advantage of were, in the summer after 6th grade, a group of us were able to place out of 2 math classes and head straight to a high school level class. The summer after 8th grade, a group of us got our PE credit out of the way early so that we could choose another elective that we would enjoy. I chose band. My team was playing in the jazz band. Following 9th grade, RCS offered a test that allowed us to place out of English 2 and head straight to AP English. And for those of you who don't know, AP offers college credit if you pass their exam at the end of the school year, which I also took advantage of. And I know that may sound like it's a lot to take on, but the current administration I have found has been really helpful and really supportive. The other day I was in the guidance counselor's office, and I know that Mr. Bryant popped in there and he was asking me like how my classes are going. And that really stood out to me because, you know, I just think that's a nice thing to have, is administration that knows who you are and knows what your situation is and is able to ask you really personal questions about it. And I remember the first time I came here, it was back in 2010, because my older sister was just starting to go here. And I looked around at this old cotton mill and I was like, this is such a cool place. It was like a modern Hogwarts. It was like full of excitement and mystery. And, you know, after 7 years, that kind of goes away, but it still feels like home, which is something that I hope that you all get to experience in the years ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Erica Vanek, and I'm also a senior here at RCS. And our administration talked a lot about the essential information about our school, but I just wanted to touch on what it's like to be a student here and my perspective as a student. So I've been here, it's my 7th year now, and it's pretty much my second home. But coming into 6th grade, I will admit, it was a little intimidating. It was a new school for me. I came from Durham, and so not a lot of my friends were coming to this school, and I was a little worried. But starting my first day here, it was so exciting, and I met so many new people that I'm still so close with today. And the experience that I've gotten from being here at RCS has just been amazing. And the most important thing to me here is my education. And I know some of you are like, you like school, but really, I do. I love school, and most of that stems from the fact that our teachers here put in so much effort to our education and our learning. And the fact that we do have smaller classes, we are a 1A school, and so our students are able to get that one-on-one kind of teaching skills that our teachers are able to offer to us. And I think that's amazing, and that's helped me excel in my education and make the most out of my school. And another thing that is really important to me is stuff outside of our classrooms at RCS. So extracurriculars are really a big thing here at RCS. Even though we are smaller, we do take pride in a lot of things we do. We have band and lots of other clubs and electives that you can take. And beyond those electives, there are stuff after school you can do. But another thing is our athletics. I have done cross country here, and I did cheerleading in 6th grade. Although it didn't work out, it was still a fun experience. But one thing I've done all 7 years here at RCS is soccer, and I take pride in that, and we take pride in our athletics and the fact that our students are so involved in our school. And another main thing that I love about RCS is our community service days that we started doing, and I think that Brian touched on that a lot, but I think that's a really important part of our school and the fact that we do get involved in our community. So most of you in here are in 6th grade, some of you are older, but I do think that RCS is a great option for a school. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Susie Horton, and I'm the middle school counselor here. And you've heard a lot of information about RCS from administrators and from the student perspective. So I hope at this point you're kind of getting excited and thinking that this might be a fit for you or your family. So I want to talk with you real briefly about the enrollment process. We are in the middle or just starting our open enrollment period. So everyone coming in as a new student is required to fill out an application. We do give priority enrollment to siblings of current students and siblings of students who have completed their 4 years and graduated from our high school. That being said, even those siblings must complete an application and turn those in. Applications can be picked up at our front desk. We have someone walking around tonight with a stack of applications. You can pick one or get one on our website and complete that and then turn that back in. Once you complete that enrollment application, you'll be required to come to our application night to return that application in person. For our 6th grade students, that night is February the 19th, and this date is also on the application, so you won't forget it, from 6 to 7 p.m. And for 7th through 12th grade, it's February 24th, from 6 to 7 p.m. If for some reason you're not able to come on your designated night, we will accept that on another night. The reason that we ask you to come in person is because we take that information down, we make sure that we've got the correct grade level that your child will be entering the next year, and also we give you a lottery number. If you are a sibling, we won't give you a lottery number, but we do want to make sure we have the rest of that information correct. So on that application night, you'll turn in your application, we'll look over it just to make sure it's complete and we have the information we need. We'll give you a lottery number, and then we'll remind you of our lottery night, which is March the 7th from 6 to 8 p.m. We are a public school, a free public school, and we do have a lot of interest. So unfortunately, we can't always have everyone who applies come, so we have our lottery. And it's just that, it's luck of the draw. So on lottery night, each grade level has their own stack of numbers, and we literally draw one number at a time and read that out. It is a public lottery. You are more than welcome to attend. You are not required to attend, but you can attend. We do not call names, we only call numbers, so you'll need your lottery number. Each grade level, 7th through 12th, everybody goes on a waiting list. We have always had room to bring some in, but we won't know exactly how many that number will be until usually about mid-July, when we have students that move or change schools or their family move out. And then we'll start calling in from that waiting list. For our 6th grade students, our upcoming 6th graders, we generally know about how many siblings we're going to have coming in. So if we have, for instance, 100 6th grade slots, and we know that we have 40 siblings coming in, then we know we're gonna have room for about 60 new sixth graders that are not current siblings. So we'll draw for those. On lottery night, we'll draw for those open spots, and when we reach that number, we'll stop and say, the following will be added to our waiting list. And that waiting list, this year we were able to call in, most everybody from that waiting list, from students who had decided to go another route, or maybe their families had moved or something changed and they decided to decline their position here. So just because you're on a waiting list is not a no-hope. So we do call in off that waiting list. The important thing to remember is the application must be turned in person on one of those 2 nights. If you don't come in on one of those 2 nights and you turn in an application after that deadline, you're automatically at the bottom of the waiting list. So we'll still take it, but you won't have as great a chance. You'll go on the bottom part of that waiting list. We do ask that you don't get discouraged if you don't get called on that very first lottery night, that your number doesn't get called, because we will continue to call until we are at our capacity here. And usually that's during that first 10 days of school, we'll make sure that we get as many in as we can. Anytime you have questions, or if you lose your lottery number, you can call and talk. Carrie Hawkins is our enrollment person, and she couldn't be here tonight, so she keeps all of that. I don't know how she keeps it straight, but she does. We also post everything on our website with the lottery numbers, not names attached, but the numbers. So you can keep a look on that online of how the waiting list is dwindling or not, to see where you're falling in there. So anytime you have questions, feel free to call us. Don't worry about bugging us, because we want your excitement to get in, and if you're calling us 10 times a week, that means you're really excited to come, and we like to hear that too. So feel free to call us, and we'll answer your questions as quickly as we can. Good luck.
Okay, for the remainder of the evening, we've got some different areas. We want you to take a look at the school, walk around. We've got teachers that will be at their classrooms. You'll be able to go into the classrooms and take a look. Down in our dining halls, you can see on your agenda that you received, we've got different tables set up where you can go and ask questions. They'll have some information they can give out. I know our athletic directors will be set up in the athletic lounge, which is directly behind us. I think you were also given a map or a layout, but we have student helpers and teachers and staff members all throughout the hallways that just ask and they can guide you to where you need to go. But take advantage of that. I know in our main lobby, our school nurses will be here, our school resource officer is here, and then upstairs in the foyer in front of the library, we have our guidance counselors. We actually have a representative from PCC here tonight, and I think we have our AIG table. But take advantage of that. You can exit out this door, the back side door, or those back doors in the middle. We thank you for coming, and we'll be here for questions also. But please take advantage, look at the school, stop by those information tables and ask questions. Thank you.
Ready to come in?